How's it going, everybody? Tom back with another Quick Tip Tuesday. Today's video is going to be all about swing rhythm, okay? Common misconception or even just a mental lapse that people have when they're playing around a golf is when you go from hitting a gap wedge on one hole, then your next shot you've got a 5-iron and you're looking out at that hole and it's 200 plus yards away and you're thinking with that 5-iron you got to swing hard, you got to kill it to get it there and swing a lot harder than you do with your gap wedge. Very, very common misconception. So what you ideally want to do is you want to let the club, the loft of the club, determine the distance. And you want to keep your swing tempo the same throughout your bag, okay? From driver down to pitching wedge. The only time you want to switch your tempo a little bit or switch the distance of your swing is when you're hitting a wedge to less than full, okay? But when you're hitting a full swing, you want to develop a tempo. And I've talked about this before. Even the pros talk about it. They never swing 100% with their clubs. They're usually swinging about 85, 90% of their full speed. So what I want you to try to work on next time you're at the range is just find that tempo, okay? So find that, tempo that feels comfortable for you, that you're not over swinging. And I was giving a lesson earlier today, and I was talking to the guy, and I was talking about this exact point, and how the other tendency you get is when you've got a longer club, you bring it back further and you get tension and you get tense because you're feeling like, I got to kill this thing. I want you to stay loose and just go back to where you feel comfortable turning. For, depending on how flexible you are, that may only be to right here, and that's okay. If you're more flexible, you may be able to turn all the way around. But I don't want you to feel tension at the top of the swing. I want you to get there nice and smooth, and then let the club fall and let it come through here. And you can even use like a clock method if you want to develop a very consistent tempo. For me, it's more of a feel. I'm bringing it back nice and slow and then coming through and swinging at the ball. As an example, I've got the course set up here. This is a 109-yard shot, so I'm hitting my gap wedge. And I'm going to try to get that tempo dialed in. And there we go, nice and smooth. Feels good. Ball's going up. And sitting down pretty close to the pin. All right? So let's see what the next shot it has me hit here is. So now I've got 164 yards. Okay? So 164, a little bit downhill. So I'm going to take a 8-iron here. And it's a longer shot. And my 8-iron typically doesn't go 164 yards. It goes a little bit less than that. But I can see the pins on the back. So I'd rather be on the green a little short. So I'm not going to try to kill it. I'm going to try to do that same exact tempo and let the loft, the increased loft of the 8-iron, make the ball go further, not my swing speed. All right? So here we go. Nice and smooth once again. You can see that ball traveling. And look at that. Almost went in the hole. All right? So I think you might get the idea based on that. So if I'm going to try to put those two swings side by side so you can see how my tempo should be almost identical for those two shots. All right? So big mental image to have in your head. Whatever club you're hitting, same speed. Don't get intimidated when you see a flag way out there and you have to grab a 6-iron or a 4-iron. Think tempo, tempo of a pitching wedge, that you're nice and smooth, just taking a full swing on a pitching wedge. You want to do the same thing with those longer irons, and you'll watch the ball fly. Trust me, you don't have to swing hard. If you make center face contact, it's going to go. All right, this is Tom. Hope this tip helps you this week. I'll see everybody next week with another tip. Thanks.